This is the main event.
The gloves are coming off.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier!
We're about to go full court press.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
It's time to play ball.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
Listen in as we tackle everything in the world of sports right now.
Who do you think you are? I am!
Throw your hat in the ring at 516-572-7440. This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC.
Oh yeah, baby. 4:02 here on this lovely Monday afternoon. I am Michael Merlo. I am joined by Anthony Deus, Gina Halstead, and Elijah Blain. Guys, it's that time of the month, it's that time of the sports year where if you're feeling a little down, a little depressed, that's okay. It's because there's nothing on but hockey.
Yeah, I mean...
Sorry.
I'm not a big hockey
What kind of
guy.
Ranger fan are you?
I know. I'm sorry. It's just I can't. I can't.
The Islanders are not that great either. So, I don't know. Nothing really to watch. I guess I'll just watch.
It's your fault for
old
watching
Super Bowls.
the worst hockey team. But hey, it's a non-hockey Monday, as they say.
It's. Here it's always a non-hockey Monday. If the day that ends in Y, it's non-hockey. Do you hear me okay? Like in the headphones?
No, these are new. It sounded like when everything was playing, it sounded okay, but now it's like very quiet.
Me?
Everything? Yeah.
I was talking about I don't really hear myself that great in these headphones. I mean, I do.
I hear you
myself.
fine.
Okay,
Yeah, I hear you fine as
all right.
well.
No, I mean, do those headphones work?
Yeah, no, these are
All right,
great.
well, I'll
You try them. My headphones work fine. Anyway, as we sort this out, we had NBA All-Star.
a lot better.
Yeah, you're good?
That's a lot better.
What do you mean a lot better?
Like, if you can't hear yourself, use those.
Let me see. Somebody's got to carry the show, though, right now.
Yeah, I guess let's talk about the Islanders. They're bad.
No, never mind. I will not change my headphones.
Yeah. But,
We did have a NBA All-Star Game weekend, though, which was interesting. I mean, me and Gina were arguing about it a little before and how I think it really just does not matter whatsoever. And, we'll talk about some things that happened, and we're going to start there in the NBA. We're going to talk about Major League Baseball because they are meeting right now. They've been meeting for over, I think, 3 hours now, which is a great thing. And we already have a caller. Oh, my God, on a Monday. And please, we will love callers, especially today on a Monday, 516-572-7440. But caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Nothing much, Mike. I'm trying to make a theme of calling all my former co-hosts.
Oh, look at you. How you doing, Eric?
I'm good. About to say baseball. Well, that's a different story. Basketball and hockey are off this week, so a little bored.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, if you're a little depressed this week, please, it's fine. It's okay. I mean, I am. I'm certainly depressed, and I've been depressed. I know you are, too. This baseball, I mean, they got to figure this out.
I got to tell you what, I don't know if you guys are about to get into it. I think it's an incredible sign that they're still talking at this point.
Yeah.
So that's good. But, in a way, Mike, I'm kind of on the side of the players. I don't want them to get walked all over. I know that you and I in particular, obviously big baseball fans, but at the same time, if a lockout ensues because the owners are trying to screw these players over, then let there be a lockout.
Well, I don't feel that way because personally, I don't care who wins, but I'll tell you this. The players have gotten railroaded in the past, 2 CBA negotiations. So if they're, and I've heard Michael Kay say this exactly, if they're trying to make up the last, 12 years now of, getting killed in these negotiations, that's not going to happen. So they're going to have to figure out a way, Eric, to, okay, we'll give this if you give that. And a real negotiation in 3 hours right now, I think that's probably happening.
This is probably the longest that they've spoken. Obviously, this more than quadruples their time last week when it was just a grand total of 15 minutes. But this is a pretty big deal what's going on right now. I was actually talking about it today because I don't have an outlet anymore, that this can either go really, really great or it's really, really bad that this is ongoing. But I'm on the side of this is an outstanding sign that they're still talking. Like they took a break, because I've been keeping up with it, as I'm sure that you are too. All they did was just take a break, and they're going right back to business, and I think that's fantastic.
I don't want to get my hopes up. I mean, Jeff Passan just sent out a tweet. It's nothing's going to come today, and he's right. You're not going to get anything today. But if you can get some progress for the rest of this week, that's what we're looking for.
Right. Now, I wanted to call you guys a couple of weeks ago. I'll admit it. It is on the trend of the topic of Tom Brady.
Sure.
But I did not get a chance to. But I was actually thinking about this, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys, and then I will hang up and listen because I don't want to take up your time. It's past my time. It's your guys' time now.
It's never past your time.
Yes, it is.
Stay on, though. After the Tom Brady question, I need to ask you one thing.
Not a problem. Is Tom Brady the undisputed greatest player of all time in their particular sport? Because for baseball, you get arguments. It's Barry Bonds. It's Babe Ruth. It's Ted Williams. For hockey, it's Wayne Gretzky. It's Gordie Howe. For football, it's mainly for Tom Brady. Even for golf, you can argue Arnold Palmer, Tiger Woods. But in any particular sport, is Tom Brady... Oh, and I forgot basketball, LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. But is Tom Brady the most undisputed greatest player of all time in his particular sport?
It's just that, I might get dragged for this take, but, in terms of individual, body of work, I feel like Jerry Rice comes very close to Tom Brady.
It's weird because you don't really hear Jerry Rice's name in the trend of greatest of all time.
Yeah.
You hear Brady, you hear Montana. It's mainly like a quarterback battle. I even hear Dan Marino before I hear Jerry Rice. Yeah,
Dan Marino played in a time where, the yards he was putting up was unheard of. But yeah, I mean, Jerry Rice, he has all the records. Some of the records, I think his receiving yards records is 23,000. It's literally unbreakable. But, Brady's the best player in NFL. But, in terms of individual player, I think Jerry Rice is up there. Maybe second, maybe 1B.
It's so close, Eric, because there's so many positions on the field that do so many different things. So, to me, I would say Lawrence Taylor.
See, but I don't know, and now, forgive me, are you grasping at straws here, or are you actually feeling that way that maybe Brady isn't the greatest of all time?
Greatest quarterback of all time, 100%.
Yeah, no doubt.
The greatest offensive player of all time, I'm going to disagree with your Jerry Rice take there. Elijah, I'm going to say yes. But when we talk about just greatest player of all time, have we seen a more dominant player than Lawrence Taylor? A guy that played on the defensive side of the ball, that didn't have so much control over the game, that disrupted it so much?
Yeah, but at the same time, I've heard arguments that Deion Sanders is better than Lawrence Taylor.
Only Cowboys fans will say that.
I can't get on board with that one.
Eric, some Cowboys fans would say Tony Romo might be the best.
Deion Sanders was probably one of the greatest cornerbacks that the NFL has ever seen.
Well, definitely, he is the greatest quarterback, but I feel like LT changed the game. I mean, I know it's a blindside quote, but he's the reason why LTs are paid as much.
It's so difficult to prove this, Eric. That's why. So, you want to say greatest quarterback of all time, and then you want to tell me, well, it's the most important position on the field, so they got to be the greatest of all time. That I think that's the argument you can go for, and then it's a yes. But again, a lot of people don't view it like that. And it's tough to compare, defense and offense, and even different positions on defense and offense. So
here's my thought process. In baseball, for every Babe Ruth, you get a Barry Bonds or a Ted Williams. In every basketball, to every Michael Jordan, you get a LeBron James. Boxing, to every Muhammad Ali, you get Mike Tyson. I'm just saying there's always a yeah, but. You don't really hear that in football. If you tell any casual fan, hey, who's the GOAT? I'd say that 10 times out of 10, they say Tom Brady.
That's the perception right now, I think, around the league and around the fans of the league.
I think that was the perception when he was playing.
I do too. Maybe, all right, fine. For the last 3 years, I'd say yes. But it's so difficult to try and prove that when you have defense and offensive positions. In the NBA, they were different players, but and LeBron and Michael, what did they do best? They scored. Who's, the better passer? Who's the better rebounder? Who was the better defender? They're playing the same game. Yeah. You're not playing the same game if you're LT compared to Tom Brady.
No, I understand that, because football is one of those sports where it's just so different, because you can have the greatest offensive player of all time and the greatest defensive player of all time. But even with LeBron and Michael, you hear an occasional Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem, Kobe. You hear like a lot of those. I'm just saying, for football, in the GOAT conversation, you don't really hear any other names other than Tom Brady. That's what I'm trying to get at here.
I feel like that's a trick question as a whole, like you said, Eric. Based on simply, like you said, when you were making the debate about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, I think it comes down to when you ask that question, how do you evaluate the greatest of all time? Like, if we're going by individual stats, are we going by how they played as a team, as far as how many rings they won as a team, because it takes a team to win a championship. When that comes into play, like, for example, we always hear the Michael Jordan versus LeBron James debate. Okay, if we're talking about a ring sense, why isn't Bill Russell included in that conversation? Because he has 11.
Well, Bill Russell played against plumbers and insurance salesmen. That's why.
That is true. But it's like, how do you answer that question? Like, how are you evaluating what the GOAT is, based on individual stats or based on how they played with the team that they play for as a whole, based on throughout their career?
Yeah, I mean, you can go, Eric. Yeah.
No, I was just saying that I think that that's very fair. And, that's probably one of the main reasons why people say the yeah buts. It's because they determine greatness in so many different ways. You're right on point there.
Yeah, I mean, Brady definitely has accounting stats, but, like, what's the main reason people say Brady's the greatest of all time? The rings. Yeah. And Brady wouldn't have won a couple of rings without that amazing defense he had in, like, the early 2000s, and even the Rams Super Bowl and the Buccaneers Super Bowl. If you take away the playoffs, I think I would say Peyton Manning's the greatest of all time, but playoffs matter, and that's why I think Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And I hate that thing where you say, oh, well, Tom Brady, was lucky in some Super Bowls. His defense was great. Listen, he played good enough to win the game. They won the game, right? They won those games.
You play to win the game.
You play to win the game. He won the game. So I don't want to get into that. Eric, let me ask you one more question before we let you go. Because we're going to talk about this later, and I'm not going to give my opinion on it, and I don't want anybody else to give their opinion on it. It goes back to baseball. It came up last week. Aaron Judge did an interview with R2C2, CC Sabathia, and Ryan Rucco. And,
by the way, shout out that podcast. Great listen.
They are good, right? I've heard really great things about them.
Great listen, seriously.
So Aaron Judge was talking about if he wasn't extended by the team or not. He said, my memories are great. Almost like a shot at the Yankees. Like, I want to get this done before the season starts. Would you be okay if the Yankees did not extend Aaron Judge before this season?
At this point, yes. Because it's so difficult, especially with right now, they can't do anything. Mm-hmm. So unless they come to an agreement today and the lockout ends and then the floodgates open, then yeah, get an extension started. But everything is shut down. There might not be a spring training. They might go into the season with like a 2-week, maybe like ramp-up period.
I don't think they're doing that. I think it's going to be 4 weeks, but it's going to be crazy either way.
The point is how are you supposed to get anything done on that front if there's nothing going on the baseball front to begin with? It's going to be very difficult, but I will tell you this. I think Aaron Judge is going to be a Yankee. I think he's going to be a Yankee for a while. The only thing is the contract situation. He's going to be 31, I think, in April.
Yes.
So he's on the downside of 30. Doesn't mean he's a bad player, but it's going to make the Yankees offer to him a little bit more team-friendly. It's not going to be like a 10-year contract. I expect maybe a 6 or a 7-year contract. And I will tell you this. I think once that Judge signs that contract, the Yankees are going to name him captain.
Listen, I think you're right. It has to be. It can't be a 10-year contract.
I don't see how you just give him up, because that was the thing all along. How are you going to sign Correa when you got to sign Judge? How are you going to sign Garrett Cole when you got to sign Judge? They signed Cole. They're making room to sign Judge. Giancarlo Stanton's contract, the way that people view it, a little bit misinformed. He's not making a lot of money for a player of his stature. Now, I know that's kind of like, yes, he is. but he's only making like I think $24 million a year. That's not bad.
24, 27 around that. I mean,
Either way, Elijah, it's not that bad of a contract when you see guys like Bryce Harper getting, and I know obviously two very different players, but
guys are going to get $35 million soon.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Soto's going to get more.
Yeah.
But the amount of money that's being thrown to the free agents the past couple of years, you want to look at guys like Manny Machado and Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Bryce Harper. A lot of money is going around. Nolan Arenado, too, before he got traded to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton is making pocket change compared to these guys. I think they find a way to sign Judge. I think they convince him to sign here. I think that this is his best way to win, even though that there's a lot of parity in the league now, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, if you're an older generation Yankee fan, this is pissing you off because, but they're the Yankees. I got to sign it. Yeah, baseball's not like that anymore. It's a very different circumstance right now. It's very difficult, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So stay tuned when we get to baseball. But Eric, I appreciate the call, buddy. Of course, I didn't get a chance to call you.
I know. Well, I'm happy you did, and I got to text you about something later. I'll send the text after the show, but we appreciate it.
Should I be afraid?
No. No, nobody's in trouble.
All right. Guys, have a great show. Nice talking to you.
Thank you. You too. That's Eric Fischetti. I just read something that Van Jefferson, the wide receiver on the Rams, who found out his baby was being born as he was celebrating the Super Bowl championship victory, he named his baby Champ.
Oh, that works. Champ Jefferson. Yeah.
Champ.
He's going to the league.
That's a nice little name. Well, if he plays anything like his father did in the Super Bowl, he's not making his varsity football team. Anyway, sorry, Van. I know it was a special night, but you were terrible.
He got 2 chips in one night.
He may or may not have went over his 33.5 that I had the over on in the Super Bowl. Anyway, so we were talking about the NBA All-Star Weekend. The game is the game. It's almost like it's practice for them. And me and Gina were talking, before. It's Steph Curry's out there shooting, yes, very long threes at times, and that's impressive, even if it's just practice. But he's shooting corner threes. Isn't there a video of him making 50 straight threes from the corner?
Yeah. I think he had 16 in total to end the game.
I'm not impressed by 50 points in the All-Star game. I'm not.
Normally, everybody's scoring, but Curry literally had a 3-point contest in the middle of the All-Star game. Did you see? Come on.
John Moran had a dunk contest in the middle of the All-Star game.
True, but come on, Mike. You saw he literally pulled up from the half court line, right? Almost, like a little bit over it.
Yeah.
Pulled up, turned around, like he knew he was gonna make it, and it dropped. Like that, the level of just talent, and he was putting on a show. Like he gave the fans what they wanted, a show.
I like Curry a lot, but it's easy to do that when there's not a guy in your face for most of the game.
I love Curry too.
True.
I love him. I think he's the greatest point guard to ever live. Yes. Better than Magic.
The only reason you should really have a vested interest in this if you put money on the game.
Right, and I had money on the first basket. And no, DeMar DeRozan or John Morant did not hit the first basket.
I gotta say, the 3-point contest was not good, but it was the most enjoyable part of All-Star Weekend.
The dunk contest was horrible.
Listen,
shout out to Obi, but terrible.
It was a 6 out of 10, like Dwayne Wade said.
He didn't. None of the dunks impressed me with that.
Except the Tim ones. I just like the fact that he had Tims and he dunked with Tims on. That was a real New York thing.
I didn't watch it for a second. I didn't even see highlights.
Cole Anthony took like 5 minutes to get ready to do
just to put shoes on.
And then he missed on, because if you don't touch the basket, that doesn't count as an attempt, right?
Right.
So he had 3 fake attempts, missed 2, and then finally hit the last dunk, which was stupid. And this bothers me. Jalen Green, stud, right? When he walked out there with that NFT chain, that was maybe the most embarrassing thing I've seen in all of sports. He signed a deal with, I guess, what's that?
Top Shot?
Coinbase Earn or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
One of those things.
Before the competition. He was wearing it around his neck. It was so embarrassing. You had 2 guards, a scrub, and Obi Toppin doing the dunk contests. You can't tell me you couldn't get actual stars. You couldn't get John Morant to do it.
John Morant, come on. He's been trying to dunk on Rudy Gobert for how many, the entire season. Every time they face off.
And the skills competition was horrendous. That bothered me.
I didn't even see that.
What about the Rising Star show? Was that any good?
That was all right.
I didn't
Did you watch any of it?
I was flipping back and forth because they had, the Rangers were playing.
Okay. So you're watching the Rangers.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why the dunk contest is bad. It's because of a guy who was commentating last night, Dwayne Wade. He kind of screwed, what's his name? Aaron Gordon out of that one dunk contest. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Like after the Zach LaVine one, he screwed him out of the dunk contest, and a bunch of stars don't want to do it because the judging is horrendous.
It's difficult. It's not easy, especially you can't even bet on that because you have other people judging on it.
Why the hell is Isaiah Thomas doing the judging for the dunk contest? Has he ever dunked? Like, has he ever dunked?
They got to change the rules because having these guys vote on it, I mean, it's funny and all, and if they just did it and it didn't matter, like if they were voting on it and putting up, 10 or 8 or whatever, and it didn't matter what they were saying, then it would be funny. You have to come up with some type of scoring, I think, or some other way, or have
and even
independent judges
dunks were just meh. They weren't
nothing impressive.
Obi Toppin is an in-game dunker.
Was it really not that great? Like, how bad, on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad was the whole contest?
His final dunk was like, do you know what you would start off with? Like, that's something he would start off with.
He's a good dunker, but like last night, 2 nights ago, he wasn't I
can't even fault him. It was just the rest of the competition was horrendous.
The competition was awful. He wasn't getting like a hard finish on his dunks.
There must have been 7 missed dunks. Like,
especially from Jalen Green.
How am I forgetting his name? From
Cole Anthony?
The Warriors?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It starts with an H, I believe.
It's bad.
He didn't. He went to the finals with Obi Toppin and didn't make a dunk.
Yeah.
In the second round, he just missed it all.
That's sad. And I was afraid of this, that we were gonna.
Did you see that meme though, where Shaq, when he was like Shaq at the dunk contest in 2002 versus 2022?
It was boring. It was really boring.
He looked so disappointed.
The Nets made a move today. They signed Goran Dragic, and when you look at this roster, fully healthy, it's a loaded roster. It's almost like this team before they traded for Harden.
Yeah, scrappy.
It's a nice, deep team.
The championship contending team that they were when he was playing with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get Ben Simmons back, and I don't know if Joe Harris is coming back. It's not a huge thing, but they've got 10 guys right now. If you have Kyrie and you have Durant, you have 10 guys that are legitimate players in this lineup.
Mike, I feel like the question is, do you think they can contribute for the remaining of the season, or do you think they can start off fresh and be a good contending team next year? Because with their current situation, I don't know how they're going to look, finishing the season off.
I have mixed feelings about whether or not the mayor is going to change the rules for the Nets. There's a way he can without changing it for everybody. So let's see what happens with Kyrie and being able to play home games. Mm-hmm. It's all going to rely on whether or not they want to go for it or not this year. It's all going to rely on whether or not Kevin Durant gets healthy and he's back. If Kevin Durant's back and he's fully healthy and ready to go, they have a chance in any single year, no matter what's happening, no matter if Kyrie plays in home games or not. If he's playing on the road and you got Kevin Durant and you have Ben Simmons and he's figuring things out and playing better with this roster, I think they're a championship contender no matter what. Yeah. If Durant's not playing or he's not 100%, then no, you're right. This is a thing with they're going to get ready for next season,
literally,
and it's almost like pushing it off to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, do they have a commitment from Kyrie after this season?
They have him.
They have him. But that
I gotta check.
Had him.
What do you mean a commitment? Like, do they have him under contract?
No, like they have him under contract, but do they know he's going to be back next year?
Oh, I gotta look. I mean, I think that he's under contract. Yeah, and I think he wants. From everything I've heard, he wants to play there. Like, he doesn't want to leave. He loves Brooklyn. He's from the area.
Yeah.
I think he lived in Jersey. He grew up in Jersey, so he loves playing here. It's just a matter of I don't.
The rules changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, would you want to leave? Like, if the rules don't change, does he X out?
I believe it's best for both the front office for the Nets and him, because like he plays the game that he loves, and to only be able to play half a season because half of the games are home. I mean, I feel like that probably has an effect on him, but as well as like on the business side, like we're losing money out of a player who's basically half committing in a way. So it's kind of like, if he can't come back, I mean, where did they go from here? Which is what I was saying. Like, they should have traded Irving instead of Harden in a way, but I don't know what happened like behind the scenes of the franchise for him to be traded.
Yeah, I don't think Harden's issues were just with Kyrie.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like I think he had other issues, but
I think he just wanted to be in Philadelphia, honestly.
Yeah, but he had issues with the franchise.
Yeah.
They had issues, but he did. Yeah, he wanted to be in Philadelphia.
You know, if Kyrie wants to leave, his options are the southeast or in the middle of the country. Like, those are probably where the most lax rules are.
Kyrie with Utah Jazz.
No, I mean anywhere but I think
The northeast.
Yeah, I think anywhere
and
but
the
New York.
West Coast.
like
I don't think
Golden
LA has
State.
these rules.
No, Golden State's the only one. I
Yeah.
think, and maybe
In California.
No, the Lakers are fine.
Lakers and Clippers, no.
Ooh, what if he went back? What if he went back with LeBron? Just imagine. Imagine.
They have nothing to trade for. That's the problem.
True.
Trade Anthony Davis.
A girl can dream.
Yeah.
Trade Davis, but LeBron's out. LeBron's out of there, I think. I don't know where he's going.
He's going to Cleveland.
Wherever his
Nice
son
segue.
ends up.
Let me. I do want to talk about that. Do they want him? Like, would you want him?
If I was a Cavs fan, I would be saying, no, thank you, LeBron. We're building something good right now. We have a couple of young players.
Right.
And I think in 2 years, they're going to be a serious contender for the finals. So
I'm in lockstep with you, Elijah. I feel like if you bring him back, you'll win a championship. That's not a doubt.
Yeah.
But how many good years quality years of him are you going to have, and what is he going to do to the roster? What pieces is he going to want to move when you're building something there?
You can't.
That makes sense.
I don't think you can punt around the franchise again and then end up a situation where you had Kevin Love not doing a thing. You're building something now. Go stick with it.
Well, are you just signing him? Like, you don't have to trade him. You're just signing him.
Well, it's not the problem
But
with
he's gonna
signing.
want
It's
players
what
to be
does he
traded,
want
yeah.
to do with the franchise?
Well, I would tell him, listen, we're building something here. We really like what we have. If you want to bring in some small role players, that's fine. But we have a good team here. And we could bring you in and you could play small forward, but we're not making any crazy moves.
but there's always one star that LeBron likes, and he just wants to say, let me play with this guy.
If he wants to come to Cleveland, and at his age and the injury risk, that can't happen. You're coming to a team already. I mean, they're 35 and 23.
And that's the other thing. How much money do you think he wants? Like, sure, he'll take a pay cut, but it's still a substantial amount of money that he would want.
Well, he's still a very good player. I mean, he's having one of the better seasons of his career right now. So you're getting an elite level player still at his age. So, yeah, you bring him in and you put him with these young guys and what you're building. The only thing I'd have an issue with is he hurting the development of the young players you have already?
Taking away minutes, too.
Are you taking away minutes from your bench pieces? Sure.
But you're going to have youth coming
not
off
at
the
like
bench.
small forward, power forward, no.
Dude, I don't know the
here's the
Cavs
thing.
roster off the top of my
He's
head.
just taking the ball away. That's
you
the
have
problem.
Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. So you're either going to have to move around pieces where I don't even know. Would you run Mobley at the 4, right? And then
LeBron at 3?
Right, but maybe there's only room for LeBron at power forward. That's the question here.
I don't think they do. Well, they have Sexton, Garland, and then
they have Kevin Love playing small forward.
They move him to power forward and put Allen at the center.
So you move Kevin Love out. I mean, that's pretty simple.
No, why can't he play power forward?
You put him on the bench. I mean, you like Mobley.
Don't
you like Mobley? I like Mobley. I think he's going to be the Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
We do have a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello. Going once, going twice, sold. That guy's off.
That's a shame.
That was a shame. I don't know if that was my fault. I don't think it was my fault.
Oh, wait, we got it back.
We got him back. Let's see. One last try. Otherwise, we're done. Here, I think we're good. Caller, I think we got you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, guys. It's Dom. I'm calling in. I don't know what happened before. It sounded like I got it. It was answered, and then I didn't hear anything. So.
I answered. I put you on hold for 1 second, like it was off on the board. Whatever. What's up?
It's all right. No worries. No worries. Listen, I've been there before. Sometimes the call doesn't come in. I don't know why it happens, but we're all good here. I wanted to call in, though, because I heard you guys talking about LeBron and the Cavs and all those rumors, and I just wanted to say that if you're the Cavaliers, you 100% want LeBron back. It's LeBron James. It's one of the best players in the NBA all time. And I understand they got something, they might want to build. They don't want him to mess anything up. But I don't think he's going to at this point in his career. I think everyone's saying that the Cavs are so close to being a championship contender. Where if you add LeBron, he's going to elevate that team immensely, and he's definitely going to make them a championship contender. And if the Cavaliers land LeBron James in the offseason for some reason, then I think they're the number one team. You could argue they're the number one team. Look at how well they're playing right now with not really having a true star. I get it. Jared Allen's having a breakout year. I'm so happy for him that he made the All-Star game. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, everyone's playing so well together, and I think they're a very fun and entertaining team, especially for a team that kind of came out of nowhere. If you're able to add LeBron James, I mean, listen to who we're talking about. I know the history there with LeBron, and so it's on and off. He wants to come back. He wants to leave. I did this for you, this championship, whatever. And I understand there's like mixed emotions there, but you're telling me they're not going to want him back. The fans wouldn't be happy about it. That would be the best thing for Cleveland right now. And again, I really think he can elevate those players. I don't think they're going to make sure to move anybody to make him happy. I know he's done it in the past, but with the team they have, I feel like they would make sure that's not going to happen.
That's my
we
thing.
Love you, LeBron, but
you can't trade any of these pieces to go get another star, an aging star.
Of course not.
And
but
also,
you're not going to have to. LeBron James' contract, I believe it's running up soon.
Let me
it's
see.
not this offseason, if he's not.
I don't know the
he's exact details.
I'm saying to go get any other players. Yeah, he could. I think he could sign there after this offseason.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing, LeBron is, players love playing with him. He's not, a selfish guy. So
no, exactly. And like you said
it might be good for young players to play with him.
Yeah, like you said before I called, he's playing some of his best basketball right now, which is crazy to say at his age, and just how good of a career he's had. So I feel like it's 100% you want him on your team. It's like it's not even a question. I feel like that shouldn't even be a debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron is contracted for next year, too. And then he becomes a free agent. So I guess, if he wants to join,
depending on what, But then if you want to wait a year. But then, again, who knows? We have everything with his son, and if he even makes it to the league, he wants to make sure no matter what, he's a free agent by that time so he can sign with that team. It's going to be interesting to follow the end of LeBron's career.
It's interesting you bring that up, Dom, because it's two things. Because he seems very set in stone that he wants to play with his son. So Bronny comes into the league, depending on, let's say he's a great prospect coming out of high school. You're either going to have to move hell on earth to trade up for him, or LeBron's going to leave again to go play with his son. So,
I mean, I feel like, again, no matter who he signs with next, you have to understand that the reports are true about LeBron. He said it himself that no matter what happens, when Bronny enters the draft, no matter who picks him, he's going to make sure the contract is up by then so that he can go sign with that team. So, you have to think, are you going to be willing to do that? But again, I feel like with the way the NBA is, too, is that I feel like you have a championship team for, such a short amount of time. Because, again, the players move like crazy. This is really the only league where it happens, where you have constant superstars switching from team to team to team. It's just, that's how the NBA is. So at the same time, it's kind of normal for, again, a player like LeBron. All right, he's going to come back to Cleveland for 2, maybe 3 years, and then he's gone again. It's just like a recurring theme with all of these superstars in the league.
LeBron would have to sign a 1-year deal after his contract's up with the Lakers, and we appreciate the call, Dom, to play with his son. His son's in his junior year now.
At Sierra Canyon.
So, I mean, if he does make the league, then okay.
I saw something about that on SportsCenter, though, when they were saying how Stephen Curry and LeBron James remain undefeated all time when they play on the same team. But hypothetically speaking, what would that look like if Bronny got drafted to the Warriors?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it was, a take on that on SportsCenter.
I don't think the league wants that, but 2 years, 3 years from now. So you got to see what happens. It's gonna be interesting to see what does happen with LeBron James. All right, let's flip the switch here because I do want to get to a little baseball. You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I am Michael Merlo, joined by Anthony Deus, Gina Halstead, and Elijah Blain. All right, let's get into some baseball. So right now we know the owners and the players are still meeting. I mean, nobody is, from 5 minutes ago, from Jesse Rogers on Twitter, nobody has left. So they don't know if they're meeting together. They took a break in the middle of it, but they are still in the building.
What if we get a deal done by today?
It's not going to happen.
But what if?
I would cry. I think I'm at the point where if they make a deal before March, before the deadline, I may cry that I know I'm going to be at Citi Field on March 31st, no matter what. Like that whole weekend, too. Like that Saturday, it's Thursday, day off Friday, Saturday, I'm at Citi Field.
You're seeing the whole
days.
series.
I don't know about Sunday. I mean, I'm locked in at this point for the first 2 days.
Right.
So they better have it. But I want to ask you guys, we have two Yankee fans in the room. So I do want to ask you guys, this Aaron Judge debate is very, very interesting, whether or not you do get a deal done. Eric before was, bringing up some very good points. This is a very interesting offseason. It's a different offseason because the Yankees didn't do anything before the lockout started, and that was for a couple of reasons, due to the fact that you don't know, certain rules like with the luxury tax or what that's going to be, and I'm going to talk about the luxury tax in 1 minute, but they didn't do anything. So now you have to fix this team from last season, which was not a great team by any stretch of the imagination. You have to add to this team and also figure out the future, and that is re-signing Aaron Judge. Is there even time for that? Because the 1 month you're going to have between the start of spring training and the start of the season, it's going to be madness.
Well, you can do two things. I mean, Aaron Judge was batting .293 at one point last year. An MVP caliber season, I would in no world would I've given
a very good year.
A very good year for somebody that was in his 30. Very good.
Yeah.
Now, you can't give him a 10-year deal. You can't give him an 8-year deal. 7 years is kind of even on the barrier there, but if you're trying to get Aaron Judge back, and if you have Volpe coming up and Dominguez way down the line, and you want to be, and of course the Yankees' objective, it's hyperbole, but it's true, they want to make the World Series every single year. There's not really a reset year there. You have to, I guess, promise Judge the captain, be the captain, and hopefully you sway him enough to where he takes a team-friendly deal, because he could go out to L.A. and make a boatload.
I think San Francisco could be that team.
He could go to Artie Moreno land. Who knows?
Yeah, I think if he leaves the Yankees, I think he's going to the West Coast.
It would bother me if he left because he's really the heart of that team.
So you're saying, all right, let me ask you this. Now, the Mets signed Francisco Lindor to an extension before the year, and it's a little bit of a different situation. But they signed him to a massive extension before the year started, before he even played a game for them. Now, the thing about Lindor is that he never had any injury issues in his career. I mean, I think there was one season, but for the most part, he is an incredibly durable player. Knock on wood that it stays like that because he wasn't so durable last year. But he's been a durable player. This is a whole different conversation when it comes to Aaron Judge because we never know if this guy's going to be healthy or not. So let's say you sign him to this 7-year, $220 million extension. I don't know what the number, I'm just making it up. Let's say you do that, and he plays 40 games this year in the regular season. You're going to be looking at yourself, and you're going to say, wow, if we would have waited the rest of the season and did it in the offseason or signed him as a free agent, we could have gotten a big discount. Now, you look at the Mets. Going back on it, I was wrong. I wanted the Mets to sign Lindor.
Yeah, but Lindor kind of said, if I don't get an extension done, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that, though, because you're the New York Mets at this point. You have Steve Cohen. You could sign whoever the hell you want. You have all the money.
But the point is, he wanted his money then. He wanted he wanted security.
I mean, he never said he wasn't going to sign if they didn't give him an extension.
Oh, but Mike, he said that in other words, though.
I don't know.
It's immature. I agree. It's very
Steve
immature.
Cohen offered him the most money out of anybody. Not even close in the offseason. He had he's top 5 in MVP NL MVP voting.
I don't know. He seems like a guy of principle.
And Cohen's like, here's $350 million, 10 years, $35 million a year. He doesn't say yes. This is my next question. You're the New York Yankees. You're saying, okay, let's see how this year goes. And if he has a great year and he's healthy, relatively healthy, we'll give him whatever he wants in the offseason. What are you afraid of? You're the New York freaking Yankees. You could sign whoever you want.
Yeah, not exactly right now.
You make the deal. You say this is the number he wants. He has a great year. Okay, here's a little more. Here you go. This is what you want. You could sign him in free agency.
I think Hal is afraid because we got burned by Ellsbury, and Aaron Judge is not Jacoby Ellsbury. And I just feel like the only way I think we sign him before is if we just offer that captain spot, on the spot. Once spring training starts.
I hate to tell this to you.
Not going to happen.
Sure. Being the captain is a great honor. if you ask him money or captain, it's obviously money. He doesn't care about being the captain. He cares about getting the money he wants.
Players care about captain.
Players care.
With the Yankees.
Elijah, players care about captain, but they more than certainly care more about money.
Well, and that's the thing.
It's
like
not close.
if he leaves in free agency, somebody else could give him more money.
If he was a free agent and the Yankees offered him $200 million and said, you're going to be the captain of the New York Yankees, and the Mets came and said, here's $220 million, we don't care what your role is on this team, just be good. He's going to the Mets.
Yeah.
Well,
no, they would give him more money.
They're giving him more money, I'm saying. Yeah, the Mets are giving him more money.
He would leave. Money cares more. But if you're trying to get him to take a team-friendly deal before the season starts, entice him with the captaincy.
I mean, what is
you're overvaluing? You guys are overvaluing. You're overvaluing the value of being.
But there's only been a handful in history.
Elijah, he's not going to take a pay cut because he's being the captain of the New York Yankees. He's not going.
I'm just saying, you give him a team-friendly deal.
He might
not terms of like money-wise, but just the years.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to realize something. He's not getting 10 years from anybody.
No.
So I mean, your max might be 7.
Mike, you don't know. Somebody get him close to that.
Yeah.
Over an Anaheim.
I wouldn't be surprised if Artie Moreno or even Cohen offers him 10 years.
No, Cohen would not offer him 10 years. No way.
No,
if
Cohen
offered him 10 years, I understand what that would mean for the franchise.
Yeah.
To steal a star from the other side, I don't care. That is bad. Cohen wouldn't do that. That's bad business. That's not a good deal.
Well,
the Yankees did it'd be a bad deal.
Yeah.
But what were we talking about? Oh, Judge 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
If he goes to Anaheim, they'll give him a 7-year deal.
Yeah.
7-8 year deal.
Yes. Okay.
This Trout's window.
But my argument, and I don't know how much money they have, and I don't even know if they're going to be willing to go over the luxury tax. My thing is, he's not going to take a pay cut. I mean, listen, if he signs a deal this offseason, they offer him what they believe, and he takes a hometown discount, it wouldn't shock me if he took a hometown discount and got his money and got his security right now. Because if he does get hurt next year, that contract is not going to be big. This coming off season. And then if he waits a year and signs a 1-year deal, what is he going to be, 32, 33 years old? Mm-hmm. So forget about that. I would offer him a contract extension right now. And it would be what your numbers say he is. What your internal numbers believe. The Mets thought Francisco Lindor was worth $280 million. That's what the first offer was.
Over 10 years?
Over 10 years. That's what their first offer was.
I mean, that's what I'd offer Judge if it was a 10-year deal. I would give him $28 million.
Why would you give him 10 years?
No,
I wouldn't. If I gave him 20, I would give him $28 million now.
So I would offer him the contract you believe is right. And if he doesn't accept that, okay, we'll talk to you in free agency. Because you can get a discount in free agency. You're taking a chance. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't overpay him right now in a contract extension. I just wouldn't. And I think Cohen made a mistake.
When we get to the Mets, I just got to ask you a question. You want to get to the Mets now?
I just want to talk about this very quickly.
Okay.
The luxury tax issue. That's a major, thing holding up the whole lockout. So very quickly, I don't want to get all nerdy on you. The luxury tax right now is at about 214, around there, 210 to 215. So basically, if you go over that as a team, your total salary for the year, you get taxed on however much you go over. And if you stay consistently over that tax for a couple of years, you have some draft picks, you lose a couple of other things, you lose money, international money, you lose some draft picks, whatever. There's penalties to that. So right now, the players in this new collective bargaining agreement, they want to lessen the penalties for teams that go over the luxury tax, therefore incentivize them to spend more money. And they want the number to go up, obviously.
Yeah, the
and
salary
lesser penalties.
floor.
Right, so they want it to be, no, not the floor, the luxury tax, the cap of the
tax, yeah.
They want it to go from, it's at 210, 215, they probably want it $20, $30 million higher. And they want lesser penalties. The owners, so that they can use it as a salary cap, want it about the same, 215, 214, and they want it to be very strict penalties. That is not good for the Mets or the Yankees.
Does Hal want this?
I don't think so. That's why he's getting involved now.
Yeah.
That's not good because the Yankees are going to have to go over the luxury tax At least they should. They have.
Well,
I think they have.
I think we have to. Yeah.
The Mets are so far beyond the luxury tax right now. The Mets and the Yankees and the Phillies and the Red Sox and other rivals of these teams are all on the same side right now. They need this to happen. So we're friends.
Good.
In baseball terms.
Oh, okay.
Not really.
Otherwise, it's me.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we're not friends on baseball terms. We're friends in real life.
I like the Mets. I don't hate the Mets.
Okay. Well,
You hate the Yankees. That's not my
I
problem.
don't hate the Yankees.
Do you like the Yankees?
You think I get a sense that I hate the Yankees?
A tiny bit.
I like taking shots at the Yankees.
I like taking shots at the Mets, but at the end of the day, I root for the Mets if they're not playing the Yankees.
It's very nice to be richer than you guys. I don't root for you guys, but I also don't root against you guys.
What's the valuation on that? I think we have a higher valuation than the Mets right now.
Well, my owner can buy your team 4 times. Anyway.
2 shots in the span of 30 seconds in prison.
Let's talk about the Mets here quickly.
Okay, can I bring up something?
Yes,
I was on.
that's why I went to the Mets.
I was on Radio Rumble on Saturdays, 12 to 2, with Justin Greenberg, and I brought up the.
You guys did the show together?
Yeah, I sat in because we did the basketball game right after.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know if it was the halftime or on Radio Rumble, but he brought up that he would like to see Michael Conforto back in a Mets uniform now that the rumors are.
Yeah, I saw these rumors going around,
floating around.
And if Justin, you're listening, you can call up right now. I'll scream at you. The last thing I want is Michael Conforto back on this team. I mean, the absolute last thing I want. Get this guy out, please. For the love of God, he's the most inconsistent player on this planet. He's not that great. We overvalued him for so long because he was a hometown kid, homegrown. Not hometown, he's from out west. But still, just enough. Enough of the Michael Conforto. And in that same report, it was Chris Bryant, too. I don't want Chris Bryant.
All the money in the world. You don't want Chris Bryant.
I really don't want Chris Bryant. Like, I feel very strongly about not wanting.
I know he had a down season, but still, Mets fans were clamoring for him.
Right. You were one of the proponents when they were going to trade for him.
I would have rather see them trade for Bryant than Baez, sure.
Right. I want to ask you, let's say a deal gets stricken up in the next few days.
Sure.
What do you want the Mets to do with the remaining in the offseason?
Sign Kyle Schwarber.
That's it? You're okay with that?
No, they need to make other moves. They need to sign a starter.
The checkbook's open. Go ahead, write your checks.
Listen, he said $300 million payroll is not off the table, so... Exactly. So, give me Schwarber. Realistically, the first thing that has to happen is Carlos Rodon. Like, they need a guy like Carlos Rodon in a pitcher for the White Sox.
That's who the Yankees are supposed to get.
Well, again, do we need to go back to the well? Go look up the net worth of the owner. And then get back to me.
Okay.
We're already over the tax. What was another $15 million going to do?
So when is the next, not Rupert Murdoch, what's his face?
Wilpon?
No. The guy who scammed the Wilpons.
Oh, please.
When's the next one of those coming around?
His sister, and I think her husband died, right?
Yes,
am I right about that?
Yes. Yeah.
They got murdered or something.
Really? It was
murder, suicide. I didn't really read the story because, honest to God, I don't care. But... yeah, I saw that.
It's part of your team's history, though.
I know. Well, he's dead already, so who cares? I think he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead, right?
Yeah, you're going to spend all that
I like
money.
how we're talking about the same guy. We just don't know his name.
Bernie Madoff.
Bernie Madoff.
I said it. Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
If we're going off of track for a second, I watched a movie over the weekend.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Which one?
Marry Me with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson. Did you see it, Gina?
No, but I really want to.
Guys,
really want to.
I don't know how it affected me in whatever way. I've had this crush on J-Lo for years now.
Who doesn't? It's J-Lo. It's J-Lo.
And I don't know what it is. I was just in love with the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, it's on Peacock.
It's in the movies still.
Is it in the movies?
Yeah, it's in the movies.
How much is Peacock?
Go say, I don't pay for it. It's one of the really, really small things my sister actually pays for, so she doesn't pay for anything but Peacock now. Wow. So
shot.
Yeah, no, definitely a shot. Definitely a shot. Believe me, I'm like the bank, like the national bank for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of money she owes me, it's like, oh my God, I'm coming to take her computer or phone at this point.
Yeah,
He's repossessing her items.
Yeah, I should. I mean, I'll take what's value there. I'll go sell. I need a new phone.
You know what you could do? You could for like a charity drive for the station. You could just start do a telethon. You know, just start selling your stuff.
Yeah, you should and make money off of it. But
I see this new MacBook. Yeah, that works.
But yeah, no, seriously, marry me, Jennifer Lopez, Owen Wilson. Oh my God! I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and it's. By the way, let me just put this out there. It is stupid. It is cringy. It is so fake, but it's a romantic, funny romantic comedy. It was unbelievable. I loved it.
Yeah.
Are you a romantic, Mike?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
It was great. I'm gonna go look. I think there's one with J-Lo, and not J-Lo, Jennifer Aniston. So I can't get her out of my head. And what's his name? Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
So I'm gonna go check that out
Which
too.
one is that?
I keep seeing those clips on TikTok. I don't even know what it's called. I think I saw it on Peacock though. Peacock's got a lot. I'm doing a free plug for Peacock. Anyway,
football.
I mean, there's not really anything to talk about.
There's not much.
Well, let me ask you, what do you want them to do with Blake Martinez?
Cut him.
Cut him.
Not even attempt to trade?
Cut him.
I really like Blake Martinez. He's been our best inside linebacker since, I don't know. I can't even name one. Antonio Pierce, it feels like. So
if his contract was $5 million less, I'd say try and trade him.
And it's just the injury. You just don't know.
They can't keep him, and I feel very strongly about that. Bradbury, we're talking about the Giants, by the way, but I think you know that if you're listening to the show.
Yeah.
Bradbury, if
I think he's a
tough.
cut.
$20 million. What is it? $18 million.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, I think he's a cut. I think we're moving to man defense instead of zone. Bradbury has been a zone cornerback for all of his career.
Does Adoree work?
Adoree, I'm not 100% sure. That's why I wouldn't be surprised if we
was when they signed it, I was like, oh, good value, and now it's just
No, he's been good. He's been good.
The first 3 games were just terrible. He was getting.
He's not a number 1 cornerback though.
But they paid him like he was going to grow into one.
Yeah,
he's a young guy. He was non-tendered or the 4th year. They didn't pick up his option. I should say non-tender is a baseball thing. They didn't pick up his option in Tennessee, so they let him be a free agent. They let him walk.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of good deaf guys. I want to say Darnay Holmes, but I don't think he's that good.
He's all right. Aaron Robinson, the guy they drafted from UCF, he's good.
Yeah.
Listen, they have to...
Next year is not going to be good for the Giants.
I disagree with you.
When is it?
Thanks for the shot, Gina.
No, that's my team too, but it's like,
No, I know. I think this team is... Listen, let's see how the draft goes. Let's see how the rest of the offseason goes. I think they could be in a position where they're like the Eagles last year, where they win games that they're not supposed to, or they win these games that they beat on these bad teams because they have a lot of... It's a very easy schedule. They win a bunch of games and they find themselves in the playoffs.
I mean, we're going to bring Danny back. Saquon is up in the air right now.
What?
Trade him.
Trade
him. Get rid of him.
But the Giants have a history of getting rid of their good players. Odell Beckham, for example, OBJ.
I mean,
that had to happen.
I say this. I don't understand how Eli Manning was a Hall of Famer. He got that 1 ring for us. I'm grateful for that.
Two.
Wait, what? Okay. Let me correction. 2. When OBJ played for us, he couldn't pass the ball more than 10 yards, but the Giants chose to trade Odell Beckham.
It's hard to pass the ball 10 yards when there's a defender right in your face every possession. Every time he dropped back. Yeah, his arm got worse. I think 2017, would you agree? That was the big drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Odell...
16. When they went to the playoffs, it was not good.
He made some throws in 16, I think.
He made some throws. He didn't have a good offensive line. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball if their life depended on it.
They hadn't had a good offensive line since the Super Bowl, but...
No, I mean, when he was playing well in McAdoo's offense, 14, 15,
with Pugh
15,
and Richburg,
they weren't bad.
Yeah.
They weren't great. He hasn't had a great offensive line since they won the Super Bowl.
The Giants won the Super Bowl in 2012. When was the other one where Eli played?
07.
07. Okay, I was not watching basketball in 07.
Football.
Football. I said basketball. I was not watching football in 07.
Let me ask you, Mike. Are you still of the opinion Thibodeau is there? Take him. at 5?
Definitely,
if
yeah.
Kayvon Thibodeau is there at 5, I don't think he's going to be. If he is, you have absolutely no choice. You've got to take this guy. And then you take the tackle from Mississippi State at 7, and that's it.
I'm not 100% sure about Charles Cross, but we have to take a tackle. I mean, I'm just hoping, praying that Ikenwu, I can't pronounce his name, but the NC State guy drops to 5. Probably not going to happen.
But if Thibodeau's at 5, you're not passing on him.
Yeah, no.
One of their needs, 100%. I know the defense has been a strong spot for the Giants. One of their needs is another edge rusher, an elite edge rusher. Aziz Ojulari could be a nice player.
He's going to be a number 2.
He's not a number 1. He's a number 2. Leonard Williams is a really good interior defensive line.
He's gone next. Leonard Williams is gone next year.
I don't think they're cutting him.
No, we're not getting rid of him.
I don't think they're cutting him.
No, his contract expires next year.
Oh, after this year?
Yeah, after this year. Yeah, this was...
That was a 3-year deal.
Yeah, it was 3rd-year option.
Oh, so we're gonna team option?
Team option.
Okay, so this is last year. They're not gonna extend that. But they need a number 1 type edge rusher, and Kayvon Thibodeau is insanely talented.
Yeah. I mean, Wink Martindale, we're gonna blitz more. Roche is gonna be a good number 3.
Yep.
And
got to get pressure. It's protecting your quarterback and getting to theirs. That's how you win football games.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Honestly, if all their guys are getting picked and Ikonwu falls down to 5, I wouldn't be opposed to trading back a little bit with 7 and then picking up a inside linebacker just to fill that hole.
I don't know. I feel like last year the biggest need was on defense there was just no pressure. Like,
well, the biggest need on
lack
defense
of
was
pressure in that
offense.
Broncos game that made Teddy Bridgewater look like John Elway. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater guy.
I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like Teddy. Listen, you said it. They did not get pressure. I mean, they were one of the worst teams when it came to getting pressure. So that's going to have to be a fix. We've talked about the offensive line for years now.
Yeah.
They have one piece. They have one piece. Okay, they have Thomas.
Yeah.
What are you going to do next? You still need a center. You need 2 guards. You need a tackle. I would like them to draft at least 3 to 4 players at that position.
Yeah.
And during the draft, and then sign other guys. Try and work this thing out. I trust this front office, though. I trust Joe Shane. I trust Brian Daboll to get this done.
They haven't given me any reason to dislike them right now. Unlike Gettleman.
One final question before we have to go. How do you feel if Malik Willis falls to the second round? The Giants take him.
I wouldn't hate
it because
they have so many needs.
Yeah, but Shane has I heard stories in Buffalo that he was looking at him a lot.
Why was Shane looking at him in Buffalo?
I think it's due diligence, really.
He has the second best quarterback in the league. Second round, I wouldn't hate it. I don't think he's going to fall there, though, but I wouldn't hate it. If they feel strongly about somebody, if Shane feels strongly this could be the next guy, if Jones doesn't work out, why not? Right? Why not take your chance?
He's going to be a project, though.
He's a project, and
this team's a project, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for listening to WHBC Sports Talk. For Anthony Deus, Gina Halstead, and Elijah Blain, I am Michael Merlo here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Thank you very much for being with us today.